back. Oh, let's talk about it. Back for part 2. Last week we started out and Brother Gene was giving us, leading up to the trial. So we're going to just jump right back into it. If you ain't seen part 1, go back and see part 1. We're going to skip all the intros and stuff today. Because if you watch part 1, you'll know who he is. It'll be in the title. Let's pick back up at the trial when you're about to look at Danny's family.
Okay, so like you said in part 1, after the lawyer told me like what type of time they was looking at giving me, they had already discussed. They came to me with the plea bargain for 3 years.
Okay.
Then they said the lawyer told me I was gonna do 50 years. I was gonna get 50 years, if I didn't take this plea bargain. So trial starts. We get to the trial and I'm sitting there. This trial felt different though.
Okay, well, so.
Because every other time I used to go to court, I was in shackles and, what I'm saying?
Right.
So this time, when I went to the trial, when it was the real trial, they didn't put shackles in that belt on me.
You just free.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like, okay, so now it's about to be over.
You better go home.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't chained down like a slave.
Right.
So we sitting there and the Commonwealth starts calling their witnesses. So they called Sean Coleman. And Sean gets up on the stand and he's telling the story about how he didn't know me again, that I came from around the back of the building, around the back of the store, how I shot the man and ran off and came back and shot him again. So he's telling this story. So then all of a sudden, while he's telling the story, I'm looking over at Mr. Pounder's family. I'm looking over at Mr. McClure's family. And I'm looking because I'm wanting to see, read my expressions.
Wanting to feel your energy.
Yeah, I didn't do this.
Right.
So when I'm looking over at his family, I'm hearing what Sean's saying, but I'm facing the family, you know what I'm saying? I'm shaking my head to the stuff that's being said. Because
did some of them know you? Some of the family knew you?
Yeah, some people knew a lot of people knew me between Petersburg and Hopewell. So and one thing that happened while we were sitting there. So where I was sitting, we'll be opposite. I was sitting where you are.
Okay.
And my lawyer's sitting here. So I'm looking past him and look at the family. And he says, you want to see this picture? The picture of Danny. Because I had never seen a man before in my life.
Wow, okay.
I've never seen a man before, alive.
So you didn't know him?
Not period.
Wow, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So he opened the folder and he shows me his picture. And I said, I still don't know him.
Wow.
That's crazy. I'm looking, I'm like, I still don't know him.
So you on trial for a man you had never even seen before?
Never met a day in my life.
That's crazy, bro.
So as that's going on, so then they called a second witness. After Sean gets off the stand, well, my lawyer, he cross-examined Sean, you know what I'm saying? He did what he could. He crossed him up with some stuff, you know what I'm saying? He crossed him up being a court-appointed lawyer, Ray Lupo. He crossed him up, made him say some stuff that, he was lying.
They should have called some reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so after that, the next witness was the man that was sitting in
the white guy.
Yeah, Bobby Pine.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's 50-some years old. He gets up on stand. So now he's a powerful witness because.
And he's the one that claimed he was just checking his knowledge. Okay.
So
who does that?
Yeah. So when they call him, he comes up and he begins to tell his story. And he says that, you know what I'm saying, again, that I had a bald head.
But back then you said you had an afro.
I had an afro.
Okay.
Wasn't growing facial hair yet. Just a little mustache. So.
And you're still 17. You still a child, pretty much. Okay. Yeah. So you ain't got no full beard and all that.
But he said that I had a bald head with a full beard.
Okay. Keep going.
So we're going through that, and I'm listening again. I'm like, this crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick, when you went to court, how was your hair?
I had cut it off because I had, everybody tell us when we go to court.
Get that look, get clean cut and all of that. I know.
I had cut it down. Still wasn't growing no facial hair. And we're going through the trial parts, and he's telling his story about how he looked up, heard the pop, you know, told the police, you know, everything. So I'm still looking, I'm listening. So now it's time for my lawyer to cross-examine him. And some of the things him and Sean said, it just wasn't adding up.
Right.
You know. And so when they talked about, they asked Mr. Piner, they asked him, did you pick his picture out of the lineup? Did you pick the person's picture that you said did this out of the photo lineup? He said yes. So they said, did you put any marks on the picture? He said yes, I put an X on the picture.
Okay.
They pulled my picture out.
No.
It has no marks on it.
So that right there wasn't enough for them to be like, well, this.
I wasn't the one that he picked out in the lineup.
It's no mark on this. There's no X on this picture.
Yeah.
It's not him. So they still kept pushing forward.
Still kept pushing. One of the questions that they asked Sean was about the coat. Now, when they came to Norfolk and got me, they took a picture of me with a starter jacket on, with a Georgetown starter jacket.
I remember you said that.
So when they asked Sean, what did you see when he ran away? He said he had on a blue coat. So they showed Sean a picture of me that they took. So they asked him, what did he have on? So he said he had on a blue coat, he had a hoodie on, the gun was up in his sleeve. Nobody sees the gun. Mr. Piner said he don't see the gun. Sean said he don't see the gun. So they said, did the jacket, you seen him run away? He said, yeah. He said, the jacket had anything on it? He said, nah. He said, did you see the gun? No, the gun was up in his sleeve. So they test your coat. They test the coat for gunpowder residue. No gunpowder residue. If you have a gun up in the sleeve, it's gonna.
It got to be something on it.
Yeah, it's gonna. And like I said, the crazy part about it, it wasn't my jacket. So I was nervous about the jacket because
you a trade,
So I was nervous about the jacket, but the jacket
because it could be somebody else's. It could have been something.
Could have been anything.
Okay.
And so, like I said, and then they said the question. They said, did he have anything on? Was it? He said it was just blue, but around it had the lawyer pointed out that around the wrist it was blue and gray. Then he picked the jacket up and turned it around.
Georgetown.
Had a big Georgetown bulldog.
You can't miss that bulldog.
You can't miss that. That was the years of.
Yeah, I mean, back then, especially back then, that would have been around.
Yeah.
You and them.
Yeah.
Either way, you knew Georgetown.
Yeah.
Back then.
So it was like all this stuff, man. I'm like, keep looking at his family because like this stuff is not adding up. And Sean cut his dreads.
Okay.
He comes in with the clean cut his dreads off. So they do recess to let my lawyer call our witnesses. Okay. So when they do a recess, but I get back, what I hear later on after the trial and everything, when Sean went out in the hallway, then his brother was there at the trial. Then his brother pushed up on him and says, "Where the guy that killed my brother, Sean?" He was like, "That's him in there." He was like, "Nah, that kid ain't killed my brother." He said, "You lying. That kid ain't killed my brother, Sean." What Sean did was got away from where he was at, you know what I'm saying? So we come back after the recess, start calling my witnesses. So first of all, my lawyers, being court appointed, they tricked me with not calling. I was in a house full of people at the time.
Okay.
At the time of the crime, I was in a house full of people.
Right.
I had witnesses. I had alibi witnesses.
Because y'all walked down later.
Yeah. Right. They didn't call none of my witnesses.
Not the girls.
They didn't call.
The
They didn't
guys.
call. They didn't call. Yeah, they didn't call nobody that I said that I showed them. Like I was. There's no place, no way. Anybody knows about Hopewell and Petersburg. Where I was at is in an area called King's Court, where the family and everything was at.
Okay. Where
he got shot at was up there by, what's up there now? It used to be a Breeze Inn, but right there before you get to Fort Lee.
Yeah.
Where all the new hotels and all stuff.
Yeah.
That's where he got killed right there in broad daylight.
Broad daylight.
So they called witnesses. Now, Sean was standing next to Danny. Danny was standing next to Norris. Norris Hardy. Norris came to court to testify for me.
Okay.
My lawyer called him.
Okay.
Noah said he had never seen me before. You standing right next to the man. You hanging with the man. Noah said he never saw me before.
Oh, that's crazy.
So when Noah said he never saw me, you know what I'm saying, and everything, that's one of the things. Okay, well, how can two people standing right next to the man get killed? One saying it's this the person, the other one saying it's
saying
not.
you never seen you before.
Then it was a lady in the store. The way I found out about this lady, she was a cashier. The way I found out about her when I was in jail, her boyfriend got locked up. Her boyfriend says to me, he's like, Smoke. He's like, you ain't killed that man that breathes in. His girlfriend's name was Connie. He said Connie was working that day. She seen the guy. She saw the guy run.
Wow.
From after shooting, she saw him run around the side of the store.
Wow.
So I was like, I'm in jail. I'm like, yo.
You think you good? Cause
I'm telling her, I'm like, look. Can you please can you get her to give me her name and stuff? So I gave her name to the lawyer. So the lawyer called her. You know what I'm saying? So she was a witness, and she was like, Mr. Porter wasn't the one that I saw.
Wow.
Boom, bam. You know what I'm saying? He ain't the person that I saw do it. So now you got two witnesses for me, two witnesses against me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Split down the middle. You know what I'm saying? The thing about murder charges, what I learned out later was reasonable doubt.
Reasonable doubt. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like they said with OJ, if it don't fit, it must have quit.
But they had plenty, even by that point already, they had plenty of reasonable doubt because stuff ain't adding up. Especially on the prosecution side.
Yeah.
That stuff not adding up at all.
So the prosecution had another card, but they didn't expose it.
Okay.
The reason they didn't, because it would have worked in my favor.
Okay.
They had witnesses. Remember back when I first told you that when we were standing on the corner and Sean was telling a story, and he said who was out there.
Yeah.
He said Keisha and
the
Werman
girls
was,
stuff.
was
Yeah.
out there.
I remember you saying them too.
I said if Keisha and Werman is out there, they're gonna tell what they saw. Keisha and Werman end up being Commonwealth witnesses, but they told the Commonwealth that he didn't do it, that I didn't do it.
So how did they end up Commonwealth?
There was the Commonwealth witness, but the Commonwealth, so the Commonwealth had a list of witnesses.
Okay.
The list of people they was gonna call.
Okay.
They didn't tell my lawyer about Keisha and Werman, so they didn't call them, so they can't cross-examine them.
Cause it would have. Good gracious.
So we going through. You know what I'm saying? Testimony, trial, evidence. Nothing's working.
Okay.
So at the end of the trial, when it's time to pass the judgment, the judge, he looks at me. He tilts his glasses down like this. He says this case was 50-50. It could have went either way. Again, I think I'm going home.
Yeah.
Because you saying this case down the middle is 50-50.
Right.
I'm hearing reasonable doubt, you know what I'm saying?
That's enough.
Yeah. He said, but I find the defendant, Eugene Porter, guilty.
At that moment, where's your mind?
I couldn't really. The next thing I heard guilty, then I heard screaming. Everybody screamed.
Okay, gracious.
And then when I turned around and looked, everybody had ran out the courtroom except for Keisha Werman and her mama. And they were sitting in the back crying.
And they never called them.
They never called. They said they were sitting in the back crying. You know what I'm saying? And I just dropped one tear because my life was changing.
You had to become an adult right then.
Yeah.
Good gracious, Gene.
So
did they give you the time at the same time?
No, they didn't give me the time there. They didn't give me the time.
Let you keep on.
They didn't give me the time at that moment. They said, come back. I think it was the following month or something like that. They was gonna give me my time.
Okay.
So let's go. When I left the courthouse, now they put me back in the shackles and stuff. But also, hold on, other witnesses they called the detectives. Mike Willington, Rose Camacho. Okay. Everybody's testifying. Even Mike Willington and Rose, they testified that Mr. Piner told them a different story.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You should have had more witnesses for you.
I did. It even out because the Commonwealth, like the police and stuff, saying like, "Yo,
it ain't you.
It ain't him." Wow. So when I get back to the jail, I make 2 phone calls.
Okay.
The first phone call, I call my mother, and I tell my mother. I said, I made her tell me 2 things. One thing was, I was like, look, if I go up here and anybody tries some gay stuff, I ain't coming home.
Right. Somebody gonna die.
Yeah, I said, I ain't never coming home.
Right.
And I made her promise me that she wouldn't die while I was in prison.
That's a heavy thing to ask somebody, bro.
I told my mother, I said, if you die while I'm in prison, I'm gonna kill Sean. I said, because I'm not gonna have anything else left.
That's a lot of weight.
Because and the thing about it, and what when people say, well, you had your sisters and stuff like that. My sisters are my sisters.
Right.
But my mother is my mom. Like that's my mom. You know what I'm saying? My sisters can go on with their life. They can do whatever they do. But your mom, that's your mom.
And one of those.
And then the fact that I didn't put myself in this situation. You know what I'm saying? I didn't commit the crime.
Right.
So I told her that, and she was like, "Okay, Smoke, I'm not gonna die. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be all right." Okay. I was like, "Yo, you gotta stop smoking cigarettes and everything, like
be vegan and everything."
Yeah, because still at the time I didn't know how much time I was gonna get. I didn't know they didn't sentence me yet. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, "Yo," you know what I'm saying?
So while you were waiting, did you have any idea, or did you have any number in mind what they might give you? Other than what they said, the 3 or the 50.
No, I didn't. No idea. Okay. I still didn't know. Because I still couldn't contemplate this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My second phone call was, back then, we remember phone numbers.
Yeah, you had to.
Like,
no cell phone.
We had phone numbers down to the fact that you had some type of code with the number, like, it might spell out a name or a code word or something.
And you have 100 or 200 of them in your head.
So I remembered Keisha's number. And I dialed it. And they answered the phone. You know what I'm saying? They accepted the collect call. And they said, "Smokey, you didn't do it."
Wow.
And I said, "I know." It was like, "You ain't do it, Smokey."
Good gracious.
We told them you ain't do it. And they cried over the phone, and I'm like, yo. And now I'm in jail, you can't be crying. You know
right,
what I'm
you gotta be,
yeah. So,
can't be weak, can't show weakness.
Yeah, so fast forward, I get in a couple of fights in jail. I'm trying to learn how to survive.
And this before you got your time?
Yeah, this before I got in the time, because I was angry about it.
And I was going to say, like, how do you not lose it? Like, I just cut somebody out the other day for them accusing me of something out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You about to
go.
Keep going.
2 things. One other thing that, may he rest in peace. Everybody know my street legend, my god brother Mook. You know what I'm saying? Mook held me down. Like, he, man, when I say Sean, man, he held me. He came to see me. You know what I'm saying? Because we thinking I'm getting out. You know what I'm saying? Because we still like the justice system, like,
you trusted it.
This is something.
They're gonna be fair.
Yeah, something's gonna turn around with this.
They're gonna be fair. Okay.
And I remember I didn't get many visits when I was in jail. My cousin Dominique, she came to see me. My cousin Michelle, my mama used to come see me. And Mook came to see me. And the day that he came to see me, I'll never forget. He had on the NC State red shirt.
Okay.
North Carolina Wolfpack. His arm was wrapped up in a wristband with an ace band, and he was getting it in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So Mook was at like 17 at the time, 16 at the time, and he came and he said, "Bruh," he was like, "Man," I was like, "Man," I'm looking at him through the glass. I'm like, "What happened to you?" He's like, "Man, dude robbed me for $1,200. He's like, what is it? It'll be all right.
Something like.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, you gotta get that. So I'm always been on the business type time. I was like, yo, man, you gotta do something. You gotta do some business stuff, man. You gotta. He was like, man, smoke. He said, man, when you come home, he said, you gonna take care of all that. He said, I'm just gonna have the money.
Wow.
You know, not knowing that I would never see him again when I got out here.
So he passed while you was.
He got killed by police. That's a whole different.
I guess that's a whole different story.
Yeah, he got killed. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, I'm that's fallen soldier.
Okay.
Mook, rest in peace.
Okay.
Yeah. So, time to go back to sentencing.
Okay.
Sentencing Jack Gould, the Commonwealth, and he's saying how much time I should get. They say life. Life in prison. And so I'm like, life, like,
for something you didn't do.
Yeah,
like yo.
Like what because they had mentioned the death penalty one time because of how the man got killed. But then when he said, when we in there and the Commonwealth saying because of his past history and you know what I'm saying, he's been in trouble, he's a career criminal, like he deserves life.
But you were a child when you committed those things. So
yeah.
You were juvenile.
Yeah.
Keep on.
And so then the judge says, Judge Lamont says, the things that Mr. Porter has done as a juvenile, he doesn't deserve to spend the rest of his life in prison.
Okay.
He said that everything he's done is because of something that was done to him. You know, so they talked about, they brought up stuff like, and this would say the kids, and this is one thing, your brain. They talked about when I punched a person in the face at school.
Come on, man.
They talked about every.
So they used everything they could to make you look like a person.
Once you get in the system, the first time you get a bad report in elementary school, people may not think that it's logged in, but everything is logged in.
So you pretty much a part of the system.
That's the prison, the pipeline.
The pipeline.
Everything you do, they section. Okay, this is he's gonna be.
Y'all listening to that? Even your paper, it's a paper trail from your school.
Everything.
Trying to filter you to the prison.
Mm-hmm. Everything you do. So they talked about. Like I used to do dumb stuff, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But like I said, the fights and all that stuff, and just different stuff. But everything you do is in there. This is what they're using every time you take your kid to see a psychologist.
They got all of that.
All that's in there to build up your pre-sentence report. My pre-sentence report.
So they're justified with the time they give you.
Yeah.
Okay.
My pre-sentence report says life.
So they want you here while you're here, and they want your life after you're gone.
Yeah.
Good gracious.
My pre-sentence report says life. I still have it. I still have my transcripts. I got a whole big folder full of stuff. It says life. So when the judge is saying, well, Mr. Porter has done some things, but nothing that he's done makes him deserve to spend the rest of his life in prison.
Okay.
He does deserve a second chance after all of this. So I'm like, second chance? First of all, I didn't get my first chance because I didn't do it.
I didn't do it, right, right.
So when they say, the judge says, I'm giving him 50 years. The same 50 years that they already talked about. See, they already had a plan.
Man.
I was going to get the 50 years regardless.
Regardless, Jake, that's
the same
setup.
The same 50 years that the lawyer came and told me.
Trying to make it like you had an option.
If I don't take this plea bargain for 3 years, you're going to get 50 years. They already knew.
Then they turned around and threw it back at you anyway.
Gave me the 50 years with 25 suspended.
And technically 25 is life, right?
Well, yeah. And
as far as the numbers go.
Yeah. Well, because when you get a life sentence, you have to do at least 15. Back then, you had to do at least 15.
Okay.
But the way sentencing was at the time, it was different. So once I get to jail and I'm hearing numbers and computations like, okay, on 25 years, I was supposed to do 5 years before I went up for parole, and I was supposed to mandatory in 12.
Let's break that down. You said it's the old law. Break down
so
the different
what
ones.
people don't know in Virginia also is that there's 3 laws in Virginia back then. You had the old law, which was you get 30 for 30, and you can get out every 30 days. You get 30 days.
Okay, so you can cut your time down tremendously.
Yeah. So then they came out with I think it was Douglas Wilder when he was the mayor. They was trying to get tough on crime, and he did the 2/3 law for violent offense.
So you gotta do at least.
So you have to do 2/3 of your time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And it came out right in '93. So then in 1995 they came out with no parole. You know.
Okay.
So with no parole, if a person gets 20 years, they have to do 18. So they're making people disappear.
But you was supposed to fall up under the old law,
I was supposed to fall under 30.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But when I get to jail, when I get my first time sheet, they give you this sheet and it tells you how much time you accumulate, good time, and all this stuff.
Right.
When I get to prison, I get it. But I still don't know. Like, I just know now I got 25 years. But dudes that's in jail with me who have been in prison, they was like, oh, Smoke, okay, yeah, you got 25. That ain't nothing. You okay? Boom, you gonna do 5 years. You go for parole. You gonna make parole. Da 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 da. So I'm like, okay, I'm 17, turning 18. So that's 19, 20. Okay, I'll be decently in my early 20s yeah. when I come home. Mm-hmm. So still, they gave me a little bit of okay. I can do this.
Right.
Even though it ain't mine.
Right. I can do 5.
I can do 5. You know what I'm saying? So I get to receiving. And my biggest thing was that I always wanted Mr. McClure's family to know that I didn't kill him. So I get to receiving. You know, I'm at Southampton receiving. Smell like cow poop. It stinks. You in the cell. You meet people that you never met. Some of the guys that I was in receiving with, we still brothers now. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in receiving, and you in a 2-man cell. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to go to the juvenile prison. You got to go to Southampton, which was Gladiator School.
They call it Gladiator School.
Every time we didn't understand about the child bell when we was over at the receiving part. So every time the child bell go off, we like, what's that? It's somebody got killed over there. So you're nervous from day one. You know what I'm saying? You're nervous because every time you hear this bell,
somebody gone.
Yeah. So I get a job, my first job in prison, I get a job in the kitchen at receiving. Okay. And so sometimes dudes get on trustee status at receiving and they don't have to go to the prison. So with me thinking I only got 5 years, if I can do my 5 years in receiving, I'm good.
Chilling, right.
Yeah, because it ain't, there's a little bit of violence, a little bit of stuff, but it ain't it ain't prison.
It ain't over there with that siren going off at.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm in the kitchen one day and I'm washing dishes. I got the dishwashing job. I'm in there washing dishes and this big guy, Doc, he come over to me. And he looking at me, I'm looking at him. He looking at me. I got my hands in this cleaning water. I'm like, this you know what I'm saying? You hear these stories like
what's about to happen here?
It's like, man, he's like, you smoke? I'm like, yeah. Who is you? He's like, I'm Doc. He said, man, I'm from Prince George. I was like, okay, what's up? You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, I know your cousins and all that.
You from your area?
Yeah.
That's your spot. Okay.
So he says, he's like, man, you're gonna be alright. He was like, I got a message from you from Bay. I was like, well, which we'll find out that this is Danny's girlfriend. Says that they know that you didn't kill Danny.
Gosh almighty, man.
You know what I'm saying? He says you're gonna be alright. You know what I'm saying? So here it is. First jump, like, okay, dang. So his family know I ain't do it. So that when I went back to the cell, they gave me a little bit of hope. Yeah, like, okay, well at least they know that I didn't.
Well, a little relief because at least the family knows. Yeah,
at least the family knows that I'm not the one that did.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to stay receiving. I remember the day they was about to put me on trustee status. The white guy, the supervisor, he's like, Porter, we're gonna put you in for trustee status. I was like, all right, so I'm happy. I gotta go nowhere. That same day, they said, Porter, B&B. So I'm trying to get to the kitchen because I'm like, yo, let me be, if I can go, he could talk and stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't stop it. I get across the street. They drive us across the street in the bus, load us up in the bus, drive us across the street to Southampton, the prison. When you get to prison, like these dudes, man, like this, the stuff you hear, the fresh meat, all this stuff, yeah, they be
talking.
They talk to you.
Because that's prison. That's different from, and you got jail, you got correctional facilities, but prison is different from a correctional facility.
Yeah. Back then,
at least back in the day.
Back then it was way different. They babyfied now.
Okay.
Y'all families, and I understand you got loved ones in there, but they babyfied now.
Okay, keep going.
So when we get over there, we walk up the hill. To take us in the back way of Southampton, you got to walk up this hill. And when you're walking up the hill, one of the buildings, C1, is facing towards. So all the dudes, they looking out the window and they hollering, fresh meat. Oh yeah, them youngers like that, So at that time, I had started growing my hair back. You know what I'm saying? So I got these little twists in my hair. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 5. I think I'm like 5'6" by then. Weighing 134.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying?
Bitty fella. You was a little bitty fella, man.
So
crazy.
I'm like, yo. So we walk in. We gotta go to laundry first. So we walk into laundry. You know what I'm saying? We get down there. They give you these jeans with elastic in the back.
Almost like maternity pants or something.
Yeah. They give us our first 3 pair of jeans. They hand you your first 3 pair of jeans, your first 3 t-shirts, your boxers, your socks. You get everything new first. So then they give us all this, and we gotta go to C3. C3 is the jail, it was the house, the shoe, and the top tier was where the new inmates come.
Okay.
So it was like receiving again. So I get there. And when I'm there, you know what I'm saying? Now, at this time, people still could wear their street clothes and stuff a little bit. You know, so you could order stuff, dudes had clothes and stuff. Dudes had hair, everything. So I'm sitting there, and one of the Spanish guys had came before me to Southampton. But we was cool, you know what I'm saying? So the first time in the streets, I seen a few homosexuals when I was, you know what I'm saying, out north. You know what I'm saying? But it was my first time really seeing, not knowing what it was, because it walked past my cell. He walked past my cell. And when he walked past, he had on a purple shirt and had long hair and had breasts. So I called over at his name, Renacito, Tito. I said, Renacito. He's like, Holmes? I said, they got bonitas here? He said, no, Holmes. He said, no, Holmes. I was like, so I'm like, I'm in a co-ed. I'm thinking like,
threw you off, right?
Co-ed. Listen, this gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? This ain't gonna be as bad as I thought.
Right.
Sitting there. So I'm like, okay. He said, no, but I know I just seen a woman. I ain't crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Still young, but I ain't crazy. So I'm like, I gotta wait on this dope, on this bitch, because I gotta see.
They gotta come back past it.
They gotta come back past it. Because I hear some female voices out there, because you can't see nothing, but I hear some female voices. So I say, so I'm standing on the gate, I'm looking, and dude come back. Now he coming, and I can see his face, and I'm like, oh snap,
that's a nigga.
That's man.
Yes.
My stomach started hurting.
Oh man. Once you realize. Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it now? Is this the temple? No, this ain't.
Where am I at?
Yeah.
Right.
So my second experience was when dudes found out I was there too. You know what I'm saying? Because before you get to prison, your name goes before you get there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? People already know what you're locked up for and everything before you even get there. So people already knew. And in detention, when I was in detention, I had a little crew. We fought together. We ate together and everything. The guys that was with me, the youngest, they had already went to prison. One had, old dog had 63 years. And Lewis had life. You know, so as I'm there, but later on I found out. So my first experience was seeing somebody get stabbed.
Okay.
You know, we looking out the TV room because like we ain't going to record. They ain't really letting us mingle with the people.
General pop.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we looking out the window, and I see two dudes, a big dude and a like slim dude. They in each other's face, and dude do something, and I see him when dude like whipped out the shank and stabbed him.
But the little small dude hit the big dude.
Yeah, he stabbed him.
Man.
And dude took off running to medical. So now I'm like, oh.
So that's the first time you heard that siren while you was in there.
Yeah, I was like, yeah,
Phew.
like this
It's real.
Is really happening. Like people are getting stabbed and stuff. It's scary now.
So did that make you say, "Let me get me a"?
Yeah. I was like, I gotta get me a knife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because this is gonna be. If this is how it's gonna be, I'm gonna have to get me a knife. Come to find out, the two young guys that was with me, you know what I'm saying, came before me, they end up, I'm gonna be politically correct. They ended up
We can talk how you want to talk, man.
crossing over.
If I gotta edit it out, I will.
No, I mean, but you know what I'm saying, you know, people, they ended up
I got you.
getting tricked. One of the guys, he ended up messing with the pump. You know what I'm saying? And he was the other guy, old dog looked up to reality. He looked up to him. And in following in his footsteps, he started messing with punks.
So this man chose to get other man booty. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
Because his homeboy chose to get some man booty.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all. There's some of y'all out in the streets doing that too. Stop it.
Yeah.
Keep going. I'm gonna keep going.
So they you know what I'm saying? So they had told me that reality, the L had got raped by the guys. So what the story they told me, like, you know what I'm saying, reality had got caught up and was in the cell with the boy, and the boy's man came in and was like, yo, you messing with my boy, now I'm messing with you.
Oh man.
Yeah, so it was crazy. So they expected me and dude to get into it because everybody knew, like I said, I could fight. Like I said, whatever it is, the streets and everything, it carries with you. They know that you can fight and all this stuff. So like, but me and dude end up talking, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, that's I'm not into that stuff. That's
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Another one of the biggest things that happened to me was my prayer life changed.
Okay, talk about it.
I used to believe in God the way that people out here do.
Okay, the traditional way.
Yeah, the traditional way. I used to, you know what I'm saying, my mom had put me in church and all that stuff, and I ran from church. So early in my life, I became a Muslim. I was studying the deen, you know what I'm saying? And I was praying 5 times a day and all that. Even like right now, I'm fasting for the month of Ramadan.
Okay.
So, but I was really like on it, like, but once they tried me and convicted me of something I didn't do, and I felt like God failed me.
Okay.
Because
talk about that.
Because I felt like if didn't no man know I didn't do it, Allah know I didn't do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If no man know
Allah
that Allah know that I did not kill this man. So once they sentenced me to the 25, I didn't want to hear about no God no more.
Right. I can imagine.
I couldn't understand, like,
because
wow,
you know and you still allowed
you
this.
let me about to spend the rest of my life here. And so I ran from God. I ran from, you know what I'm saying, the traditions. And once I got put into general population, I went to C1. And C1 143. You know, everything changed. My name changed. You don't be Porter no more. You Porter, but you changed to a number. 22, 53, 45.
Wow.
I'll never forget my number.
Wow, that's crazy.
You would never forget your number. I might not remember my phone number,
But you never forget
but
that.
my state number I'm never gonna forget.
Wow.
Matter of fact, I got two of them now because they changed. They got so many people in prison at one time. They gave us another number.
You a new number.
They took away our old numbers and they gave me a new number 1170747.
That's a crazy number to have to remember, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So I used to go in the TV room. Now the TV room was dangerous.
Okay. Talk about
The TV room at 10 o'clock in Southampton and all the people.
dope necklace too, man. Man, you mean to interrupt you? That's hard.
Yeah.
We talk. Go ahead. Keep going.
With in the TV room and everybody that follows me, like a lot of my people on the page, been in Southampton with me. They would tell you at 10 o'clock at night, don't go in the TV room. Because if you got beef or anything, or if you, like, you might die.
That's where it go down.
Because the door slams and it locks.
So you get whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
You got time to get busy.
Yeah, you can't. So when I used to be in the TV room, and at the time I didn't really know about the 5% Nation or God's Nurse. But I used to sit at the back of the TV room. I used to sit on the bench by myself. But I used to always hear these guys talking in the back. It was like 3 or 4 of them. And so I started going and standing on the outside of what they call the cipher. So I used to stand on the outside of the cipher and just listen. And so the guy says, well, why you always stand on the outside, son? Like, what you seeking? And I said, I'm seeking knowledge.
Okay.
He said, step into the cipher. So he said, who are you? So at the time, I said my Muslim name. I said Camille Ali-Kwan.
Okay.
So he was like, okay. You know, so I started being around the 5%ers, and I learned that the black man was God.
Y'all hear that?
I learned, and I can say this wholeheartedly, when I became a 5%er, it saved me.
Talk about it, man.
It kept me.
It gave you that knowledge of self.
It made me not wait on a God that I couldn't see. I knew there was a God in me. You know what I'm saying?
That you was the power.
And it's levels to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because where I am now, in my school of thought, I wasn't there. I was just okay. Everybody, if you ain't believe the 5%, you was a savage. You was a Christian. You're 85.
Yeah. Blood suckers in the pool and all of that.
You know what I'm saying? So at that time, when I learned about that, and I started studying. Okay. So at a young age, I became an elder God because I used to read all the time. I didn't read no fictional books.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? For the majority of the first part of my prison term, I didn't read I ain't still out reading fiction books until I went to the hole one day. My first fictional book was Lucky, by what's her name, Jackie something.
Okay.
That was the first fictional book I read. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I was reading books that gave me knowledge. I read Albert Einstein. I read Malcolm X. And as I got deeper, I used to make all the people that I enlightened, that I gave knowledge stuff to, all of my students had to read Albert Einstein.
Why'd you make him do that? I kind of know why.
Albert Einstein was so deep into his thoughts that I wanted to transfigurate into that form. Albert Einstein, little things didn't matter no more.
Okay.
Albert Einstein was one that people, if you read, Albert Einstein forgot how to tie a shoe.
So he was so far in here.
Yeah.
That little petty stuff like tie my shoe, that's trivial.
Yeah, that's
I'm trying to think of formulas that can transform us past where we at.
Walking the same, he would be so deep into his thoughts on his way home from a path that he walked all the time, he would get lost.
Okay.
So that's where I wanted to be.
So that's why they tried to call him crazy.
Yeah. Okay. He was out of his mind. He was out of this.
And sometimes it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we could go somewhere else. Keep going. Yeah. Keep going. That's good. That's good.
So with that, I had to learn. And then my first enlightener, the God Powerful. Like when he first enlightened me, he gave me the attribute Supreme Allah.
Supreme Allah.
You know, and he told me I was omnipresent, omnipotent, I was everywhere. You know. And so as I grew into myself, I took my Muslim name and used the supreme alphabets and broke it down. And Camille, King Allah, Master of Islam, which I truly love. Ali means the Most High, and Quan means Master of the Universe.
And let me interject, because even growing up in church or whatever, even though I didn't get as far into it as you, even to this day, there's certain things I learned from studying the mathematics and the alphabets and the different lessons that stick with me to this day and help me know who I am. Because that's what it was about. It was about not externalizing your power, but letting you know the power is in you. All the elements in the world is already in you.
And even that's what Jesus, that's what Jesus says. He says that, did I not say that ye are gods, but you should die like men?
And it's in the Old and the New Testament, y'all.
And when he was telling us to speak things, you know what I'm saying? He said you would do greater works.
Keep going.
Becoming a 5%er, it helped me to not go crazy.
Okay.
It helped me to when I found out how much time I really had to do, that 5 years changed. Like I went to the counselor, Miss Tan, and I was like, I had got the update sheet of your time, and my update sheet said 2012.
And you still in the 90s.
I said 2012. The world coming to an end in 2000.
Right, we ain't hit Y2K yet.
Yeah,
right.
They said the world coming to an end, so I'm gonna die.
It's funny now, but I'm sure it's not funny then.
Yeah, I'm gonna die here. So I'm like, Miss Tan, this got to be wrong. She was like, that's when I found out about the 2/3 law.
That you wasn't under the old law.
I was under the second law. And so I had to do 12 years before I started going up for parole.
That damn near all the time. Almost half the time.
I had to do 12 years first. And then I started going up for parole. So to share that, because the time frame, people want to get bored, but I started getting moved around.
Okay.
I stayed on the rock from the early 90s to, my experiences was different.
Okay, talk about
it. And I say this, and even when I lost God, the traditional God, the new God that I needed found me. And
get to that.
And I say that because I never had to be I never had to indulge in homosexuality.
And I wanted to ask you that, and hold your thought, because on the outside it's a perception that, how you put it, you have a choice.
Yeah.
Pretty much, you have a choice.
Yeah.
So if a guy, and outside of people raping people,
yeah,
if guys get into that, they want to.
they do.
But you don't have to.
You don't have to.
Okay, just have to make that clear because it's a misconception.
And I didn't. It was for some reason, and like people say, women, the staff members, was willing to help me.
Because they were aware of your case?
They was aware of my case, and everybody from Petersburg and Hopewell was like, yo, he ain't, man, bro, ain't even supposed to be in here, you know what I'm saying? And I walked different. A lot of times I walked by myself. Even though I had a team of guys, I used to walk, because I told my counselor, I didn't even have no treatment plan. It was so crazy because of the fact that I told my counselor, and once she read my paperwork, when Counselor Taryn read my paperwork and she said, Gene, you're not supposed to be in here, Porter. And I was like, yeah. I said, so when you tell me to do something, I said, I ain't gonna want to do it.
You might one day, but you might be like, nah.
And a lot of people, and if you think I'm lying, a lot of officers around here I'm talking about big hats, Mr. Smith, Horace Smith. He was a captain. Tool. These guys watched me grow up.
Wow. That's right, because they've been in the system, working in the system
years, and
20, 30 years.
And when I say they know who, even when they see me out here now, and they see me and they recognize Porter, first they'd be like, boy, you was hard-headed as that. But then they respected how I carried it. Okay. They really respected, because I was the one that I showed them respect. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they disrespected me, I was disrespectful. Right. But they saw me grow through childhood, and some of them became like fathers to me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Some of the females became like mothers to me, because I didn't even get to see some of my own family members for 10 years. You know, some of my family members wasn't coming to see me, wasn't visiting. You know,
that's hard.
So you know, some people didn't want to come to the prison. You know what I'm saying? So here it is, you sitting in here for something you ain't do, and you ain't getting no visits. You getting a few phone calls. Like a thing about Mook again. Mook made sure I had money on my books. He made sure that, you know what I'm saying, my godmom, Mama Shirley, that she answered my phone call, whether he was there or not. You know, 3-way jumping. Like I said, he died while I was there in 1999. He got killed by police. So my world shifted then, you know, as well. But at the same time, a lot of stuff happened for me in like the late in 1998, 99.
Okay.
1998, I got my first officer.
From a woman, you got
the
first piece. Okay, talk about it.
She started.
Because it happens. Y'all don't act like this some foreign. Too many people that got walked up out of these prisons for doing some things.
Yeah, she showed interest in me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that helped me as far as my bid was concerned too.
I'm sure
it helped and it hurt. Because now the fact that I'm like, you know what I'm saying, you think you're in love. Just because, and a lot of it was talking more than anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You think you're in love with somebody, and you thinking, because at the time, I think we was telling people, like, when we found out about a woman, if you tell an officer or a female, any somebody that you writing, that you got 18 months, they'll stick with you for about 18 months. They'll give you a good 18 months.
Yeah.
And then they'll dip. After 18 months, like, this nigga ain't coming home.
Homeboy gonna be up in them guts.
Yeah,
keep going.
They give 18 months, you know what I'm saying? So, like this lady, you know what I'm saying, her name was Kim. My homeboy said I was crazy about her. It's like, but
they been around dudes all the time. Look, you trying to.
Yeah, somebody showed me some attention, and so that was experience for me, which led to me getting kicked off of Southampton.
That's about hating or something?
They found out it was me and a whole group of guys. Some of my guys is on my page too. Like we was called the Southampton Lovers. They came. We used to want to get off of Southampton because with a population of like maybe 500 to 1,000, I think it was like 500 inmates there.
Okay.
But it was the Rock, the same like death, love, everything was happening right there. And you would want to get off of there. Like, as you got into your bid, you want to get off of there.
Because Southampton was before, like, Red Onion and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was, like, for Sussex, so that was similar to, like, maybe The Wall or something. Yeah. And it was hardcore.
A lot of people from The Wall, a lot of fighting, a lot of territorial. We didn't have gangs, really. It was where you was from. Richmond, Petersburg. 757, D.C. And the part with guys from Petersburg and the Tri-Cities, we all sat together.
Okay.
Petersburg, when we sat together, you know, and it was so crazy that when something would go down, dudes would always like that Petersburg mob. You want them with you.
Y'all that wild crew.
Yeah, because they say all them niggas strong and they crazy and they'll fight. So they between us and Bad News. That's why a lot of my other guys is from
down that way.
Newport News.
Okay.
You know. And then you section off, you find out like this group of guys is like this. You know what I'm saying? Richmond guys is like this. Tidewater guys is like this. Portsmouth guys is like this. So you get a feel for who to hang around and not hang around.
Okay.
And so when I got transferred, the day they came again, they came out with a list. I was in an honor pod by then.
Okay.
And they came and it was like all these dudes was getting transferred. And my youngin, Slim, he home now. Slim came to me. First, I was upstairs. He was like, man, dude's getting transferred. I said, like, yeah. So Slim, the first time I went down there and looked on the list, my name wasn't on there.
Okay.
Slim came, he said, bro, they got your name on the list to get transferred. I said, man, my name ain't on there. I just came from down there. He said, your name on there. I go back down there. My name on there.
Okay.
It was so terrible how they transferred us. Usually they take you to Powhatan, and then they get on a bus to go where you're going.
Okay.
They did a swap. They took us straight from Southampton to Greensville.
Good gracious, man.
But they said that the warden said by 1 o'clock he wanted us off his compound.
He hated you. Get them niggas out of here.
Yeah, they took me straight to Greensville.
Good gracious.
And that was a different experience because
that place huge too.
Yeah.
Greenville, a city by itself.
Yeah.
For real.
And then at that time they had dudes from out of state there, and you know, with the Lawton was there.
Okay, like you said, I heard these stories.
Yeah,
Okay,
so it was different. You know what I'm saying? Because they had to stay together.
I heard it was raw back then.
Yeah,
man.
so it was a different experience going there. You know what I'm saying? And then seeing how big the sales was. Like I can go from Southampton where you can barely sit up on the top bunk.
In Greenville, you got a little, compared to that, you got
some
space.
You can stand up on the top bunk.
Do a little circle.
You might fall off.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was different. One of the things I can say also, like people say like with me, a lot of people like, you don't wear prison, you can't tell us you did 18 years. I never let. I can say to the once I found out the God in me, I never let prison do me. I really did the prison.
And as you say that, I think we met like, it was around maybe November-ish 2013. And I remember saying that to you, that, because we met in the gym on Main Street. And you know, talking, small talk, whatever. Then the conversation started to get deeper. You started telling me some of your story. And I remember telling you like, gee, you don't seem like a guy that been to prison. You can kind of tell guys, whether it's their build, whether it's their walk, whether it's their mentality. You can kind of tell when guys have done, especially if they've done a lot of time. Gene, you don't wear none of that.
And I couldn't because I knew I wasn't supposed to be there. You know?
Okay.
And like we skip those like because of time, but like when your appeals keep getting denied.
And how many of those do you get?
I got my first appeal denied. And these lawyers and all that stuff. If you're doing wrong stuff, study the law. Study the law because you need to know the rules. But my first appeal got denied. My lawyer told me, "Oh, it's gonna be all right. We're gonna file a Hague." You know, he didn't put some information on the Hague about the witnesses and all that. And the first thing I ever learned about law was Strickland versus Washington.
And what's that case?
It's a two-prong. You can't argue a lawyer's defense. So what they were saying was my lawyer not calling my witnesses, even though it would have helped me, that was his defense.
That was his choice to do that.
Yeah, and I couldn't argue that. Then on my Hague, we did the Hague, and again, it was the fact that they left stuff off. And they saying that we should have put that on first appeal. By that time I had got a paid lawyer because I told my mom I didn't want no more white people on my case. I went and got a black lawyer, Reginald Crawley.
How did that work out?
Same way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like you say, once you in the system, it's hard to get out. It's easy to get in there, but it's hard to get out. Now, one of my trying times, like by this time I started getting moved around. Boom.
Okay.
So I'm getting moved around. And I get to this prison called Lunenburg.
Of course you like to smell good. Who doesn't? But who wants to pay $75 to possibly $250 and up just for their favorite fragrance? Well, now you don't have to. You can go right to thesmellofvictory.com. Downplay fragrance body oils as you may, but they're an excellent alternative to those beefy retail prices. Just go to thesmellofvictory.com. With over 150 fragrance options, not only the body oil you can get matching lotions, you can get matching sugar scrubs, which exfoliates dry skin and moisturizes as it exfoliates. Also add that body butter, that TSOV body butter to it that matches your fragrance, and you get all natural ingredients such as raw shea butter, little grapeseed oil, little tea tree oil. I'm not going to give it all to you right now. It's going to be on the packaging. All natural, matching the fragrance that you've chosen. TheSmellOfVictory.com. Save 10% on your first order when you subscribe to the site. So go right there now. What is it? TheSmellOfVictory.com. Peace. Okay.
I'm at Lunenburg. You know what I'm saying? It's going good as a dormitory. what I'm saying? Most times they say when you get to the dormitory, you're getting close to going home. I'm in the dormitory. And again, like you say, when you come to prison, everybody knows, you know what I'm saying? They always tell you, like, man, your homeboy here. So we had a dude from Petersburg that worked in the laundry. Every place you go, you gotta go to the laundry first. So the dude that worked in the laundry, it was found out, wait, he was like, yo, when he came, I think we went to lunch, and he said, yo, Smoke, he said, man, there's a dude up here from Hopewell. I was like, yeah. I said, well, there's only two types of people from Hopewell. I said, either one of my little cousins or the nigga that lied on me.
Uh-oh. It was him?
It was Sean.
Oh, man.
So I walk in, we going to lunch. By that time, they bringing him up with his stuff. Now,
so he just getting there.
He just getting there.
Okay.
For another case. But he don't know what I look like anymore. I'll never forget his face, but he didn't know what I looked like.
So you could have walked right up on him.
It's been 8 years.
Okay, keep going.
So I'm walking down the boulevard with the guys, and I look, and I'm like, nah, it can't be. He pushing his cart with the officer.
Oh man.
I'm like, yo. So I go to child, I come back, I'm sitting by the washing machine. And I'm sitting by the washing machine, and my homeboy Rock, he come. Then they know Sean too. He from Hopewell, Sean Rock. He say, I'm sitting there and I got tears in my eyes. And he said, man, Smoke, what's up, man? You can be all right? I said, I gotta kill him.
You get it.
And he was like, what you mean, Smoke? He's like, man, you can't do that, bro. I said, man, God and the devil can't exist on the same planet.
Good gracious, Gene.
He was like, it gotta be a better way, Smoke, man. He's like, man, how am I explain that to your mom, to your family? You know what I'm saying? Either one of y'all family. I said, man, he put me here.
Mm-hmm. Good gracious, bro.
I was like, he can't stay here with me. So then my everybody know that he there. So like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Well, man, they trying to talk me, and I was waiting on the appeal.
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting on the appeal at the time. So they like, yo, man, Smoke, man, you waiting on your appeal, you gonna get out, da-da-da-da-da. If you do something, you ain't never going home. So I'm contemplating, I'm thinking, I'm contemplating.
That's tough to have to sit there and struggle with yourself.
So we used to go to A Child. He used to be in B Child. I had a homeboy from up Charlottesville.
Mm-hmm.
He was with me. I said, look, I said, yo, I need to go in B Diner Hall, bro. I said, my guy, I said, dude up here. So everybody already knew about his name, knew everything. You know what I'm saying? Because they had been, most of the guys had been around me all the time. So he's like, man, I'll go with you, Smoke. I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? So we go in B, and we go in A Child, B Child. We go in the child hall, and he's sitting at the table. And we pull up and sit down. And so we sit at the table, and I got a knife in my pocket. And I'm like, yo, I was like, man, look. I said, what you gonna do, man? She's like, man, Smoke, man, I know you ain't do it, man. I just be in trouble, man. It just was, I said, look. I said, well, you gonna help me get out? He's like, yeah, man, I'll help you, man. Whatever we gotta do, man. He's like, I said, all right, so you gonna talk to my lawyer? I said, all I need, by this time I started studying the law.
Mm-hmm.
I said, all I need you to do is tell my lawyer that I ain't do it. I said, we're gonna go to court. I said, you could plead the fifth after I get a new trial. You could plead the fifth. I said, but I need you to go.
At least get me to that point.
Yeah, give me.
Say what you need to say to get me to that new trial.
Give me a trial. Man, I got you, man. Just tell the lawyer, da-da-da-da. So I'm like, all right. So me and Scrap, we leave out the jump. I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm refreshed because like, damn, here go my chance about to come again for me to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom and my middle sister, Tamika, they came to see me. And I'm telling them, I'm like, yo, Sean up here. So they was like, my sister says one of the most powerful things to me that she ever said. And then by that time she had my first niece. Mm-hmm. And I was like, he gonna tell the lawyer and stuff I ain't do it. And my sister says, Smokey, he lied on you. Don't let him lie to you. So I'm like, but I'm still like, okay, you know what I'm saying?
Yo.
I'm like,
Good.
I hear her,
Oh,
but I'm like, this nigga, he ain't gonna lie now, you know what I'm saying? So I called a lawyer. My lawyer never came to see the nigga. Never came to see him. So by that time, he got time, and he's like, his lawyer told him, da-da-da-da. So now I'm hot, because I'm like, he lied.
He's like, oh my gracious.
So my homeboys from Petersburg, we like, I'm telling them, they was like, look, what you want to do, Smoke? You want to fight him? Nah, he telling them, now he started lying to me, he ain't lying on me and stuff. I sent the paperwork over to his dorm.
And that paperwork tell it all.
He was in dorm 1.
Okay.
I sent the paperwork over there. I was in 3 dorm. I sent the paperwork over there to him. They was like, so I told the guys over there, I said, he can't have nothing while he here. They took his TV. They took all that nigga snitch. That nigga lied on you. It wasn't even the fact that he was a snitch. It's the fact that he lied and got you in here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going through, you know what I'm saying? Because now I'm thinking about how I'm going to get this dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? How am I going to get him? So I tell my homeboys, I said, look, they're like, man, you can fight him, Smoke, we'll stomp him out, da-da-da-da. I said, no, I don't want to fight. I said, anybody can win the fight.
Yeah, you got to go.
I said, he needs, you know what I'm saying? I said, so this is what I need you to do. I told my home, I said, all I want you to do is pick an argument with him on the boulevard.
Give you a reason.
I said, when you pick an argument with him on the boulevard, I'm going to come like I'm going to break it up. But when I break it up, I said, I'm telling you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit him with the ice pick. I said, when I pull out, he ain't going to know what hit him. He going to clutch it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be too late. I said, then I'm going to walk off and goddamn dump the jump. So he's like, man, Smoke, man, bruh. I said, man, y'all niggas, I don't want to talk about it then. Y'all niggas don't want to do it my way. I don't want to fight.
Right.
But again, the universe and God was on it because my birthday came up. Okay. And I stopped celebrating holidays in prison. The only thing I cared about was my birthday.
Okay.
I had talked to my sister earlier in the beginning of the month, and she had told me, like, yo, I got you a card, I'm going to send it to you. I'm waiting and wait. My birthday come. I don't get the card. I think my birthday came on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get the card. So I'm like, okay. Monday come, mail call. I don't get the card. At the time, I'm taking college classes and stuff. So I'm sitting out there. I'm sitting in the foyer part, and the officer, he said something to me. And I'm mad about the dude being here, and I can't get to him. I'm mad about my sister ain't sent my birthday card.
Mm-hmm.
I snap on the officer. Catch a threatening body harm.
Oh, man.
But when I threatened him,
okay.
When I threatened him, I think I still went to school. I used to catch a lot of my charges was on officers. And so when I caught it, when they came in and locked me up, you know what I'm saying? So they locked me up, I'm in the hole. And they found out that Sean up there. And when I tell you everybody knew I was innocent, the warden came to me. It was time for me to go for my hearing to get out of the hole. And the warden is like, Mr. Porter, I want to let you out the hole. He said, but Mr. Coleman is here. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's going to be the safest thing. I was like, man, I ain't going to do nothing to him. Mm. The warden told me straight out his mouth. He said, the person that lied on me and put me here was here. He said, I will get him. He said, I just can't take a chance on you doing nothing to him while you're here.
It's crazy that many people acknowledge that they know you didn't do it, mm-hmm. but it's because the system is so jacked up. Yeah. Once they bang that gavel, it takes pretty much an act of God to reverse it. To reverse it. That's crazy.
And so they end up transferring me, you know, because of it. And I was like, I was here first. You didn't, but they was like, you already in the hole. It's easier to transfer you because you're already in the hole.
Man, that's crazy.
I ended up getting transferred because of it.
So that pretty much kept you from catching a real murder case. Yeah. Because you would have caught that one.
Yeah, because I was plotting and scheming. I had already had it.
And you had every right to.
And so, like I say, as time went on, bouncing from prison to prison, you know what I'm saying, learning how to be a man, you know what I'm saying, really growing up and everything. Like 2000 came and went, Y2K ain't kill us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So let's, cause man, I'm sure you got hundreds of stories you could tell, and we might get you back for some of those. But let's fast forward with some, unless you got something you want to get into. Okay, you've done your time. It's time to come on. Where's your mind? What's your?
I'm scared.
Okay, talk about it.
I'm on Greensville Yard. I'm on the rec yard. Still working out, doing boxing with my boxing coach.
And what year is this?
2000. I came home 2012. So this is 2012.
2012. Okay.
So I'm on the rec yard, and I'm scared now because I went up for my last parole hearing. The people kept turning me down for serious nature of the crime. I went up the last time. I told myself I wasn't gonna go up for the last time, but at the time I was dating my ex-wife, and I was like, I'm gonna go up this one more time. Maybe I can get out before her birthday and stuff.
Okay.
Cause I used to go up every August. So I go up. The people turn me down, and I'm like, I got a few months left.
Yeah.
I got this August. I come home.
I'm going home anyway. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right. I gotta get out. Y'all gotta let me go anyway. Right. So we walk in the rec yard. And this was one of the lessons that I keep with me out of all the boxing lessons he taught me, Mr. Wilson, was we're walking and he seen something was wrong. He said, "What's wrong, bro?" I said, "I'm about to go home, Mr. Wilson." I said, "But I'm scared." He said, "Why are you scared?" I said, "Because they're going to call me a murderer." He said, "What's your name?" I said, "Listen, you know my name. You've been coaching me for years now. You know my name." Okay. I said, "Smoke." He said, "Nah." He said, what's your name? What's your real name?" I said, "Eugene Porter." He said, "So if I call you Jeff, you gonna answer to it?"
Okay.
I said, "Nah." He said, "It ain't about what they call you, it's about what you answer to."
Especially in that case, that's powerful.
And when he gave me that, it was like, okay.
Like took a weight up off.
Yeah.
Okay.
They might call me a murderer. I know I ain't do it.
But you don't have to acknowledge it.
Even me coming to this town where I'm not from. You know what I'm saying? Coming to Emporia, I always knew I was coming to Emporia because every officer I ever saw
was from Emporia.
You know what I'm saying? So I knew it was coming here. But even then, like I say, back in the early 90s, I still had wrong intentions for coming here. Okay. Because the fact that I knew Emporia was slow, was back. You know what I'm saying? Nothing against it, but it's just the way that the town
is. What it is.
Yeah.
It's slow. It's behind a lot of things.
Yeah. So, but my thing was, I always wanted my own business. Okay. So what I had said was back then, early, before I met my ex-wife, before all that, I was like, boom, I'm gonna go to Emporia. I'm gonna date a lady from Emporia. I'm gonna go to Emporia. I'm gonna open a bootleg spot. I'm gonna get a run, cause they don't kick up the bootleg spot for about a year, 6 months. Cause that's what I was used to knowing about bootleg spot. When I failed, bootleg spot was a job.
You gonna get your money in.
So I said, I'm gonna give me $10,000. I'm gonna start me a barbershop.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna open a business. You know what I'm saying? Then one of the business I used to want to do when I later on before it was with the boxing stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it was so crazy how the universe worked. Let me tell you this before we go. I knew it was coming to Emporia. Okay. Months before I came home, somehow a newspaper came. And the newspaper had a building, in the classified, it had a building for sale. Okay. And the building, I think the building was like $50,000. It was a white building on Halifax Street.
No, it used to be the lawyer office.
It was a
right
white,
beside the cab stand.
No, it was on right there where I'm at. What's Ron Temple at? Where that field at?
Oh, okay. So you saw it. Okay, come on, keep on.
It was a building right there. Something before something.
Might have been. Probably.
All that stuff right there. It was a building was for sale for $50,000.
Okay.
And I told Mr. Wilson, I was like, yo, I said, man, I can get out here dealing with boxing. I said, we can do the boxing program, the inside out program. I said, dudes be coming home if they've been in here sparring and practice and stuff. I said, so they won't, because when you come out here, you got an F on you, got that felony on you. Everybody's not gonna give you a job stuff. But as a sparring partner, if you're good, you can make some money.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I said, so boom, I can have the place where the guys they live on the top, and we had a gym on the bottom.
So you're really working
with boxing,
right.
You know what I'm saying? I said we could do that. I was like, man. So I seen the building, and that was like it was the fruition of it. It was what.
It's what you wanted. What you've been seeing.
Yeah, I wanted a boxing gym to help dudes when they come home.
Okay.
You know, and it was on Halifax Street.
Ain't that something? And for y'all that don't know, that may not know, that's where Strong Temple Fitness and Personal Training is located, on Halifax Street. Yeah. And let me jump in before you finish and before we wrap up. Like I said, I met you back in 2013. Yeah, toward the end of 2013. Not realizing you hadn't even been home a full year yet. I'm just kind of finding that out now.
Yeah.
But what I can say for anybody that might be watching, anybody that's in any type of position to do anything, I've known this man. It's 2021 now, since 2013, so that's about 7-8 years. He's been this person. Yeah, of course, he's grown, matured in certain areas, but he's been this person, a solid guy. I've seen him in positions where he had a right to do harm to other people, but he chose not to. He's respected, and I'm talking about stuff I've seen for myself. He's respected by people in the streets, people in the system, on both sides. If you're guilty of something that egregious, or if you're such a bad person, you don't get certain respect from certain people. Certain people in the streets are not going to respect that. Like I said, I've seen you in situations, and we talked about stuff I won't repeat, but people that have come at you with stuff, and as a man, just on some man stuff, you had a right to go slap the taste out of their mouth.
Yeah. But it's the father learn
and you
how
did
to be humble. You know what I'm saying? In the whole thing, like nothing that I have, even like with Strong Temple, nothing I have, I didn't ask for. The universe gave it to me.
Right.
I spoke some things into existence. You know what I'm saying? Just like I told you about your angels, I knew about my angels. But it's the part, man, that like my whole life was taken. I'm not supposed to be here. That's why I wake up different. When people poking at the bell, or like, I used to tell people, even on the inside, the Incredible Hulk, like, don't make my eyes turn green.
I believe it.
Because once I go there, I can't come back. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to come back, so you have to think for other people.
Sometimes I don't know how you do it, and that's what I'm saying too, for anybody that may be listening. Some guys do come home and are really, it's hard for me to say you reformed because you didn't do the crime, but some people come home and you shouldn't have limitations on them. You should be able to have every right that you had before you went, because you've proven that as a man, as a business owner, as a friend, just as a person in the community, you've proven to be Strong Temple. Everything that word means, you've proven to be that. And and with the work you do with the kids.
Yeah, I love the kids.
You're one of the few guys I trust.
Yeah.
Now, if you ever prove that wrong, that's one thing. But in 7-8 years, you're one of the few guys I can count on one hand that I believe I can leave my wallet and my woman around you. And I got a good chance that you ain't gonna mess with me. Okay, whatever else you gotta add to it.
So
I just want to add that part in there.
Well, with the whole movement, like right now, like I can't, even though I'm free, let's say, physically, I got my rights back as far as like the right to vote, to the right to, one of the things that I'm fighting for now is to get my gun rights.
Gun rights, right. And that's what I was saying. You should have every right you supposed to have.
I went to court, you know what I'm saying, for it. And to hear, like, I had an envelope full of letters from police, from the city manager, from all prominent people, businesses everywhere. And just to hearing Shrek say all these reasons why I should.
Right.
But then at the last part, he said because somebody's life was taken.
And I'm going to say it, you used to be a defense lawyer. How you going to turn around and, I'm going to leave that alone.
And so that was one of the biggest gut shots that I get. Like, sometimes I get gut shots, you know what I'm saying, that makes me remember that I'm a felon.
But this is why I said what I said. Okay, for people in certain positions, because I don't know who might see this, Gene still knows street people.
Yeah.
So if he wanted to get something done, he could.
Yeah.
He just wanted to be able to carry. What I'm saying is he don't need y'all permission to get a gun if he wanted one, and he hasn't done it. Yeah. You see the point I'm trying to make. He has access to the same people, the same stuff. He could if he wanted to. He's chosen not to on his own. Mm-hmm. He's just saying, okay, I'm choosing not to on my own.
I want to go hunting.
Yeah, I just want to go. I don't want to shoot nobody. I want to shoot some deer, some target.
I want to do the things that quote unquote men do.
Right.
That the next level of being a man. Like I say, I don't have no children yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, just sometimes I tell people I compare it to 12 years a slave. That I got these free papers, but
got limitations on it though.
You're not free. And even like I tell a lot of my guys about coming back out here, it's sort of like, I do a lot of paraphrase with movies. It's sort of like Nemo when you come back out here.
Okay. Like
you just was in this little fish tank and you get poured into the ocean. And you got all types of sharks and everything, and nobody's accountable out here. Man. And nobody's telling these guys and these kids, you know, like, it's not my problem. What happened to when it was a village? I don't care who, your son, your daughter, they walk past the gym, they pants hanging down, I'm knock on the window, I'm telling them, come here, put your pants up. My boys coming there, eye contact, look, yo.
And you don't take it easy with them. You don't disrespect them, but you talk to them as a man. And they respect it.
A lady told me that yesterday. She's like, why are you talking to my nephew like that? Without it, I said, I'm talking to him like a man.
Y'all stay out the way with men being men. Yeah. You listen, he not saying this. Ladies, I love y'all, but when you run into a man being a man, let him stay out the way.
Yeah, they don't, like, sometimes
take it how you want to, feel how you feel.
That's what has been lost. A woman can't teach a boy how to be a man. No matter how
that's a fact. And y'all get mad, you don't have balls and penis, you can't teach a boy how to be a man.
No matter how hard they try. And that's the thing. So it's just, you know what I'm saying, we gotta keep doing what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Do I get down sometime? I'm gonna tell you one thing that I experienced out here today. Before we go there, I never experienced on the inside. Talk to me.
I kind of know what you go ahead.
Depression.
Oh, I didn't know you were gonna say that. Come on, Jim.
I never got depressed in prison.
How the? Okay, get into that a little bit.
I never got depressed. I get depression from being out here.
Okay, explain that a little bit. I thought you was going somewhere else with that. Okay.
In prison, you don't have time to get depressed.
Okay.
There's always stuff going on. You don't have time to think about what I learned about depression is that depression comes when you don't know your purpose.
Okay.
You don't know what you're doing, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Okay.
In prison, you ain't even searching for a purpose, so you don't care. You just living.
Because you already know what time you're getting up.
Yeah.
You kind of know it. Okay.
So out here, I've had those times when I've been depressed.
Okay.
You know, it's sad because of how people, I had a failed marriage. I got married thinking I was a man. I knew Smokey. I knew Porter, but I ain't know Gene yet.
Because you hadn't even turned to Gene when you went in. Good gracious, man.
So, like things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? Gene is not perfect. So for anybody who's walking, he think no, Gene not perfect. Strong Temple is.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
I
Gene
like
gonna
that.
make mistakes.
I like that.
Gene gonna make mistakes.
Okay.
Strong Temple perfect. It's two separate entities.
Yeah.
You know, so when you see me, like, he think he no, he don't.
And break down what the word strong. Break that
Strong
down. Some
Temple
people might
came
know
to
what it
me
means.
before we go. Strong Temple came to me one night after I had a partnership and we separated the partnership, and I didn't know if I was gonna keep training people, and I went to sleep that Friday night, early Sunday morning. Well, I went to sleep having a discussion with God. And I was like, you want me to keep training? And I can't do this by myself. I don't know what to do. I said, you want me to train? I can't use the name that me and the guy had, so what am I calling it? He said, we was talking about the temple. It was like, temple this, temple. I was like, okay, temple. All right, so temple what? And he said, strong. So I go to sleep with this strong temple thing, not knowing. It sounded fancy, but what do strong temple mean?
What does it mean? Right.
I went to sleep, went to rest, and I woke up at 2:30 that Saturday morning. And he said the S was standing, the T was together, the R was relying. I said, what's the O? He said, put it together on. And the G was God.
Put it all together.
Standing together, relying on God.
That's heavy.
It don't matter what you call them.
That's heavy.
You know what I'm saying? Who you say, Buddha, blah, 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 blah. People gonna say, well, oh my God, Jesus. No. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Whoever
because we stand
God,
together and we rely on him.
That's right.
That's why I had to educate somebody the other day in the store. They were like, oh, you on Ramadan, you a Muslim. I said, everybody Muslim. Man. It's like, what you mean everybody Muslim? Muslim means one who submits to the will of Allah.
The will of Allah, man.
If you submit to God and you doing what his will is for you, you're a Muslim.
But because our minds have been put in the box, say, okay, you have to be a Christian. You have to be, not realizing being a Muslim in Islam is more of a way of life. Mm-hmm. It's not even really meant to be a religion. We could get into that a whole other, because I'm not Muslim, but it's good to be well versed in more than just your religion. Yeah. Let me get y'all, and we're gonna get up out of here. When you're born free. You get told whatever religion your parents follow, you get told you're that.
Whatever
but
football
you're born,
team.
whatever football team, basketball, whatever, you get told these things, but you're born free, which means you're born with free will. So as you get older, okay, if you were a child and all you ever been given was chicken, and all you ever been told was that steak is bad, you're going to believe steak is bad. But why not say, okay, let me try, or at least ask somebody that had some steak to find out. Is it really
the
bad?
old Wu-Tang Clan. Do that with your child. Put the Bible and put the Quran, put them other books and see which one he crawled to. Do what Buddha did to see if he came back.
Man.
Put all his toys and he picked his toy. Because that's the thing about it. If you let them make a choice. One thing that I can say about my mother that she did, she let her kids choose. My mom knew at 11 years old I wasn't with the Christianity stuff no more. Like, what? But she didn't fight me on it. She said
she let you choose for yourself.
Yeah, get your relationship. Because whether it's Christianity, Islam, whatever, you need your own personal relationship with the Creator. Stop going with pastor such and such say, what Big Mama say, because everything that they say, because I can give one piece before we
go. Go ahead, man.
Jeremiah 10:3.
Come on with it.
Because all y'all got Christmas trees in your house and say you're Christians. Jeremiah 10:3 say, don't go into the woods, cut down the trees, decorate with silver and gold, and nail it to the floor.
It's right there in the book that y'all love.
But you do it.
But we the hypocrites. We the crazy. Come on, Gene. We could do a whole nother podcast just on this stuff, but we gonna chill.
I thank you for letting me get part of my story out. Like say,
and if we gotta come back and do some more, we can.
Like if y'all want to hear more about what happened in prison, like some of the
stuff, get to some of the stories,
some of the stuff I ain't gonna get to y'all because we got some secrets in there. We got still got a code, but
and I wouldn't even dare ask you to share some.
If you want to know or how to deal with a man when he comes home from prison, how to deal with your loved ones while they're in prison, I got a guy right now, my partner, who lost his mom while he was in prison. And I have to be there to answer his phone call because I was the last one when he was talking to his mother, and she was sick and he didn't know, but she told me.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? So after she passed, and I had to tell him to get his act together because he had went into depression and that because he lost his mom. I was like, yo, bro, this is what your mom said. So it's just different things and just being men in general and what we need in this community for these boys and these girls, you know. And I don't want no handout. I want a hand up.
That's right.
Because for real, to be honest, everything in Strong Temple is owned by the members of Strong Temple.
Man, that's. I love Strong Temple.
Ain't nobody give me no grants.
Even days where I might just go in and don't work out, I just go and sit in there and chop it up with Jane.
We build it.
I ain't got to lift not one weight.
We builders, and the Masons got the G. We builders, and you don't even know. We build on everything.
Yep.
And it's all types of people that come to Strong Temple. White, black, Spanish.
All of them.
Everybody, when you Google fitness, Strong Temple #1.
That's right. Give me your address, Gene.
Yeah, 407 Halifax Street, Emporia, Virginia. We do personal training. We do life skill training. Hey, I'm a life coach, youth mentorship,
boxing,
everything. If you got a sport you want to learn how to play, if you got a kid that want to go to college but play sports, hey.
And if you doubt it, just go to his social media. He's trained football, basketball, baseball, Olympic, all semi-pro, golf. He's done a little bit of everything. The best trainer for 100 miles. Strong Temple on Facebook, Instagram?
Instagram, Strong Temple 1. Facebook, Strong Temple, Strong Gene Temple. www.strongtemplefit.com.
Okay. Everything Strong Temple.
Yeah. Oh, and one last thing. We're doing the second annual Strong Temple 5K walk run September 25th.
Peanut Festival. That's a big deal.
We in charge of it. So look, y'all.
For this black man to have that's a big
59 years of Peanut Festival. This is the 59th anniversary.
And nobody that looks like him has been in charge of it. Look, man. Ex-felon.
Thanks.
Come on, y'all. Making real moves, real progress.
So y'all need to come walk, run. We're gonna be if you want to be a sponsor, we're gonna be giving away prizes again. We gave away bikes and turkeys.
Make sure I can be. I missed it. I was on the road last year. I'm gonna make sure I can.
Last year we gave away a lot of stuff. We're trying to get some sponsors. This year we want to be. I might have to hit DJ 321 up. I might have some music out there. Cause we had some exercise.
Of course.
So I need y'all to start praying that the rain don't come. We got to do like the hold the rain back.
Hey, let's turn it all the way up this year, G. Yeah. Yes, last year you did it on short notice. Man, I respect this guy a lot. Yeah. I know y'all young people call it D-riding and stuff. You supposed to give people their flowers.
Why they here?
I didn't have to meet this guy. I'm thankful I did though, because just a few situations I've had, I could go to that gym and have a peace of mind. Even if for that hour I'm in there. I got a peace of mind just because of the energy that's there and because of the conversations we had. Anyway, because I can keep going. Yeah. Look, hit that subscribe button, y'all. Yes, this has been good.
Follow. Hey,
this has been a really good one. Like I want to look at this later on. Hit the subscribe button. Oh, let's talk about it.
If you don't believe, he gonna post a picture of the trial. The
I'm gonna have
newspaper
it up.
article.
I'm gonna have it up.
Or you can read for yourself.
And try to leave it up long enough.
50.
Pause it. Read it. Yes. Anyway, let's get up out of here, man. This has been good, but we could keep going. Hit the subscribe button. Peace.
1,000 people.